Hi everybody, I'm Philip Duncan. Thank you for joining us as we track the next low that is crossing over New Zealand. And this is it right here. You can see the cloud draped down across the country. That was the early rain that we had this morning before dawn in many northern areas and then tracking across the North Island. So plenty of cloud around New Zealand for Thursday. This is Friday's setup. So in another 24 hours or so, the low that's crossing New Zealand will still be around the North Island. It's very patchy weather around it. So don't expect widespread rain. It'll be isolated, localized, and there'll be big dry areas as well. Generally speaking, we have a southerly wind flow on the left-hand side of this low, and on the right-hand side out to here, it's a northerly that is curving around as an easterly. So sometimes that can be a bit humid. Now, humid doesn't mean warm, that's muggy. Humidity is just when you've got a lot of moisture in the air. So it can be a bit damp and cool, or it can be a bit sort of clammy and warm. It just depends on if the sun is out or if it's just a low cloud, gloomy kind of morning. So with that in mind, there is a little bit of rain around the eastern central part of the country on Friday, but I don't think it's going to be a great deal. Once we get into the weekend, Saturday is the day to get outside, mow the lawns, do the laundry, all that kind of stuff, because it is mostly dry. There are sou'westers around the North Island. There'll be a bit of cloud, maybe an isolated shower or two, but that's about it pretty much. West Coast, a little bit of rain coming through for you, mainly down around South Westland. It should be dry just about everywhere else. And then we get to Sunday and we're back to the windy westerlies. They start in the south in the morning, they move up the South Island across the day, reaching around Cook Strait into the afternoon. You'll notice those nor'westers just starting to pick up through that area. And really across the South Island, this new airflow coming right out of the north. Now, for those who have been tracking Australia's weather, they are about to have a monumental historic heatwave this weekend, if it happens. They could get up to 40 degrees in New South Wales, which is not normal for September. Now, New Zealand sometimes gets these heat waves from Australia a couple of days later. You can usually shave about 10 degrees or so off those highs, but there is a chance next Monday, well, we'll go show Monday now. Actually, that's Sunday. Here's Monday. You can see those windy nor'westers coming in. So that's that Australian airflow that just warmed up New South Wales, at least it will be over the weekend. So when it reaches us, a sunny day, nor'westers, and it's coming from Aussie, there's a chance some of these eastern areas, it's all about timing, but there's a chance you could get up into the late 20s. So we're seeing at the moment just predicted highs of around 23, but we saw that the other day and it jumped up 5 degrees above the predicted highs. So there's a possibility that we could be seeing our hottest day so far as a result of that very windy flow on Monday. And then by Tuesday, we've gone big screen here. New Zealand's buried amongst the showers mostly, sort of patchy showers and rain. Bit windy still around the North Island, those windy westerlies, but they're coming now out of the Tasman Southern Ocean area, stretching right out and across the country. So it won't be quite so warm on Tuesday. After that cold front goes by, plenty of showers around and wind coming for next week. So it is all very typical, normal spring weather. It's probably a bit frustrating after a very wet autumn and winter though. So we'll keep you up to date on when the next big high is coming in. I can see some high pressure around Australia, although there's a big low there. So high pressure is sort of around some areas, but it's typical spring. It's all very, very messy. Now, one last thing before I go. Hurricane Maria. It hit last night in Puerto Rico. It was a very strong Category 4 storm. It would have been a 5 if it hadn't just started to wobble before it got there. The eye started to change shape a wee bit, but it was a major storm. Now it is tracking back out to sea. It's likely to gain strength as it passes by some of the same islands that were hit by Irma. That yellow line you see along there, that's the track that Irma went on. So this is not going to affect the United States, but it is going to come past some of these islands, one to still keep an eye on. That's all from me. We'll update you again on Friday.